All right, perfect. So just as a reminder, I'm sure a lot of you have been to BHA Technology office hours before, but just in case you're new, what is BHA Technology office hours? It is a monthly meeting hosted by BHA's technology team, and it's typically geared for behavioral health organizations and providers. At these meetings, we typically provide updates on changes and improvements to BHA managed technology systems. It's also a place to kind of surface and discuss questions that you all might have regarding some of these systems, get feedback, and kind of explore other opportunities to engage with us as well. So, past office hour slides and recordings can be found on our technology and data systems webpage. I will share out all of this information as well. You should all be receiving like a Gov delivery message that typically I'll send out after office hours with some of this info as well. So you will see it again. Okay. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to talk about OwnPath Care Directory as well as OwnPath Profile, Learning Hub, Ladder's Provider Directory, and then we're going to do a brief kind of look at 2024 office hours and then looking into 2025 since that is right around the corner. So I'm going to pass it off, I believe, to Alex or Jumana regarding OwnPath.
Hello. Amanda, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Orlov. My pronouns are she, her, and I am an experienced designer on the OwnPath and BHA team. And today we have some updates about the care directory as well as a new tool called OwnPath Profile. So if you could go to the next slide, that would be awesome. Just a quick reminder or introduction. These are the lovely humans that help make the OwnPath care directory. I won't go through all of their names, but I did want to acknowledge our small but mighty team of product managers, designers, researchers, developers, and data specialists. Next slide. Okay, so I am not sure how well known this is, but I did want to take a moment to remind folks about the OwnPath Care Directory and how we display information about providers on that care directory. So the process today is that data from the Ladder's licensing system goes into the OwnPath Care Directory. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with Ladders. It is our licensing system for BHA licensed providers. Many of you may have used it or folks on your team use it. And the data that is collected on Ladders includes licensing information as well as operational information like your hours of operation. We are displaying a lot of that operational information on the care directory today. And again, the folks who are visiting the OwnPath care directory include people in Colorado who are seeking mental health or substance use care, clinicians who are looking for referrals, or people in our communities who are looking for licensed DUI treatment providers. If you could go to the next slide, Amanda, that would be awesome. So because the Ladder's licensing system is somewhat limited, we have always wanted a way for providers to have an easier time updating the information that appears on the OwnPath care directory. We've been working very hard and we are excited to give you a sneak peek. Well, it's not a sneak peek. I don't have any visuals to share with you today, but I am excited to tell you that we are working towards inviting many of you to this new tool we're calling OwnPath Profile in spring 2025. So this tool is going to collect operational data from providers, and it's going to allow providers to more easily manage and edit how you appear on our care directory. Um, we are going to be moving many of the fields, like hours of operation, and that other operational information to OwnPath Profile. So anyone on your team, not just those who have the login for the ladder system, perhaps marketing staff or other staffers, can easily go into OwnPath Profile and make updates on how you appear to folks who are looking for care. So our plan is spring 2025. We are looking at about February and March to slowly release this tool, get your feedback, um, and make hopefully the OwnPath Care Directory more robust and even better for our communities in Colorado. Amanda, can you go to the next slide? So, what we are up to right now, our team is currently in the process of finishing the software development for this new tool. We are testing the software. We are creating training materials and processes to support rolling this tool out. And then lastly, we are going to be slowly rolling this out to BHA licensed providers. It's really important to us that we catch anything before we roll this tool out more broadly. So we are going to do a slow and staggered rollout. So some of you may be hearing from us right in spring 2025. Some of you may be hearing from us a few months later. We are going to, in advance, thank you for your patience as we begin inviting folks to the new OwnPath Profile tool. In the meantime, please continue to use the ladder system for any necessary changes to your care directory listing. Some of you will again begin hearing from us in February or March 2025.
Awesome. Thanks,
Back to you.
Alex.
Yeah, you got it.
Super exciting. I'll pause here for a moment. Does anyone have any questions about this? Feel free to drop them in the chat as well if you don't want to come off mute, but everybody's welcome to come off mute as well. All right. Well, we will move right along, but if anyone has questions, feel free again to drop them in the chat throughout, and we can always circle back. So thanks, Alex. Okay, now we're going to move on to Learning Hub, and I believe Andrew is going to chat about that.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andrew Kemp, pronouns are he, him, and I'm the product manager for the BHA's Learning Hub training platform. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about three topics. The first one is I'd like to share an announcement that we have new training coming up onto the platform. We have 26 new courses focused on disability and cultural competency in the behavioral health and healthcare settings. This has been a partnership of content development here between the BHA, our sister agency, HICPUF, and the University of Colorado's Department of Psychiatry. The course contents include courses on brain injuries. I think we have 5 or 6 courses there. Neurodiversity, and all the courses have a strong focus on supporting and delivering the delivering of services to priority populations. As of today, I think we have 14 out of the 26 are live on the platform, and they're rolling out each week. There's a pipeline of release underway, and so we expect to have them all up by the end of January. So please check out the site there. I think, Amanda, you've just copied the link into the chat, and take a look at those new courses. Next slide. Thanks, Amanda. We just released on Monday, we updated our new user account creation process, or survey perhaps might be a good way of describing it there. So essentially, when you come to OwnPath, a learner has to complete the survey before they can get access to the training. The BHA is using this as an opportunity to learn more about our learner population in order to help us make decisions about what content would be suitable moving forward. So what does the new account creation process include? We've got 8 new questions. We're asking questions about learner motivation. Why are you here? Is it to refresh skills? Is it you're here to recertify? Have you been directed to come here because it's a particular topic that needs to be learned or refreshed? We have questions about language. We're interested in knowing what languages our learners best learn in. And then how did you hear about us? So how did you end up at the Learning Hub? Was it a directive? Was it word of mouth? All these answers to these questions just help us to understand the population that we're dealing with, and helps us to make more appropriate content moving forward. In addition to new questions, we actually have more answers as well. If you can just pop back to that slide, Amanda. We have more answers as well. So we've pre-populated some of the drop downs there to include more licenses and certifications, more populations, more geographical areas where our learners serve. We're trying to be respectful of people's time, and here we have a large number of questions. We don't want people to have to sit and type out lots of answers. We want to just make it as quick and as friction-free as possible, hence the pre-populated answers. And we also have prefer not to respond options for many of the questions that people may feel are of a private nature. We do not require people to answer those. They can skip through those if they would like. So this captures the demographic information for new learners that come to the platform. We have over 2,000 people who've already registered. We will be reaching out in the new year to go back to those people and ask them to fill in the same questions so that we have a really good data picture of all of our students. And just in the spirit of learning more about the platform, Amanda, if you can jump to the next slide. We are looking to get more feedback from our learner population. This is important. We can make decisions internally about what we think works from design perspective. But what we really need is feedback from our learners to say what is working for you, what is tough to what are the pain points inside the platform? How can we make this better? And again, being respectful of people's time. We want to make sure we want the system to be as intuitive as possible so that people are not spending time looking around, trying to find the next page to go to, or where's the content. So we would love for people to reach out to us to help us understand where we can be better and deliver a better experience. And I think, Amanda, thank you for sharing that email address. If you or anyone you know would be interested in help us out with feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can get in touch with us at cjhs_BHA_LMS@state.co.us, and then we will set up a time to talk. We'd love to hear from you. If anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat, come off mute. Love to hear from you. Also, reach out to that email address as well. Happy to talk more.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. I will say, I know everybody is, it's always hard to find time to do user research. But I will say being a part of user research is really fun. So if you've never done it before, if you have the time and capacity, it's fun to just like give your opinion on what works well or what doesn't work well and what you would recommend. So that's my own selfish plug into trying to get you some research participants. But genuinely, I do think it is fun. So, okay. We will move right along, but again, feel free to put your questions in the chat. So I know Alex talked a little bit earlier about Ladder's provider directory, and I believe on our last office hours, we gave this same update. But just as a reminder, that on Monday, the 16th of December, the latter's provider directory will be discontinued and will no longer be available for use. So the screenshot over on the right, that is sort of what the latter's provider directory looks like, just to refresh your memory. Ladders itself will still be available for licensing purposes, but the actual provider directory will not be available. And then, as Alex kind of mentioned earlier, Own Path Care Directory is essentially what's going to be replacing Ladder's provider directory. And in the coming months, the Own Path team will be expanding some filter options on the directory so that people seeking care have more options as well. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to the BHA provider support email. But hopefully this isn't coming as a surprise. So, okay, so past and future as it relates to office hours, I tried to put together a quick little oh, I'm totally blanking on what these are called right now, but that's okay. I put together a little collage of topics that we talked about for past office hours. So this is kind of an image that displays all of the things that we talked about. So over the last 12 months, we talked about a lot of things. It looks like Own Path Care Directory seems to be a major one of those. Talked about Learning Hub as well, and a lot of other things, training, etc. So in thinking about 2025 office hours, we're going to test something out here. I'm going to try to do this Mentimeter live poll. So bear with me as I move around here. So if you've never used this before, I'm going to drop this in the chat. Word cloud. Thank you, Andrew. That's what it's called. Okay. Hopefully you can still see my screen. All right, so I dropped a link in the chat. Basically, you can join. You can go to menti.com and it's going to ask for a code. The code I'm displaying is up here at the top of the screen, 9963047. So my question is, what would you like to see for office hours in 2025? And Andrew, you have your hand raised. Yes.
I'm not seeing the link in the chat.
Oh, I for some reason just direct messaged that to somebody. Thank you. I want to do that to everybody. Okay, perfect. And if it's not working, yeah, please let me know. But essentially, you should be able to join and you can type in your responses and you can type in as many as you want and it's all anonymous. So nobody can see who put what. But basically, once people start typing in, a word cloud should theoretically appear. And then if people start using like the same words, there we go. We got our first response. Thank you. People will start to see that appear, or it'll get bigger actually. So yeah, just anything that comes to mind. What do you want to see more of? Lots of CCAR and DACODs. Good. That's good. We haven't really, in retrospect, in 2024, we didn't do a lot of that. So I love that that you all are responding about that or asking for that. Okay, we'll leave this up for a little bit longer because I know it might take people some time to kind of think about this. And also, I know it's hard to be put on the spot for this type of question, but if it is something that you think about, you just need time to sit with it, you can always send me an email to the provider support inbox and just say, hey, I thought about this. I'd love to see this more in the coming office hours. Because honestly, this office hours is for everyone that's here. So we want to make it as valuable to you all as we can. I'd also love for the individuals that maybe put in CCAR and day cods. Um, I'm curious, and again, I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but curious, like what about CCAR and day cods are you looking to find more about? Just is it like, I don't know, there's a whole plethora. Is it generally speaking, are there specific things about those two systems that you want to see or hear more about? Okay, somebody said we were interested in replacing CCAR decods, not training them. Yeah, that is 100%. So in regards to that, I know it seems like for the longest time there has been talk about those being replaced, and I will say those are still in the process of being replaced and kind of coming up with a plan and next steps to do that. Um, so 100% I hear you on that. I hate to say it's being worked on, but it is being worked on. That is the truth. So I'm just going to take some notes here. Replacing them.
Amanda, could I just ask? I saw trainings is one of the words that popped up there, and I'd invite anyone who wrote that in to maybe just share a little bit more about that, whether is it training for the BHA platforms? Is it clinical training? I'm just interested to know what some of the thoughts are around that.
Counters. I'm just also taking notes from what everybody put into the chat. You can also submit a question anonymously also if you don't want to put it into the chat. There should be a Q&A feature, I believe, to do that. Yep. Carol, I hear you there, making these less of a burden. Less of a burden. New system, training update for these systems. What the new replacement system to CCAR day cuts will look like, timeline. Yep, I 100% love that timeline for replacement. Oh, the system Mentimeter only allows responses, 3 responses. I didn't know that. Okay, well, I wonder if I can change that somehow for a future one. Looks like another question come through. Oh, that one's done. Okay. Okay, awesome. Integration, I'm guessing that's integration is doing with EHR integration. Yep, somebody else put EHR integration. The new systems being created, will any EHR providers be involved? Great question. New systems created, okay. I'm not sure the CO She Hub. Not entirely sure what that one is. If somebody that put that in.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Andy Rose. So the state has put about $7 million out for grants to interact with the Colorado, I think it's called Social Health. I forget what SHE stands for, Social Health Information Exchange. And Colorado is going to provide four databases: a client database, an organization database, a consent database, and a provider database, and open that up for interoperability. And as part of the BHA's Essential Safety Net Provider Program, we're responsible for what's called closed loop referral. So it's really vital that we understand, the progress with the She Hub and how to
Hmm.
access it. So it'd be really helpful to hear from somebody from Ojai or someone at the BHA that's either working with this code or monitoring these grants. So if you have more questions, feel free to ask.
Okay. Yeah, that was so helpful. Thank you so much, Andrew. Um, yeah, I will look into that because obviously I wasn't super familiar with it, but it sounds like something really important. So, okay. Well, thank you all. This was obviously this was for my own purposes, but also long term, I want to make sure that you all are getting what you need out of these office hours meetings. And so, thank you all so much for participating in this little activity. Hopefully, it was kind of fun. Um, okay, so let me pull this back up. So a couple of reminders with some office closures coming up in December. Offices will be closed on Wednesday, the 25th for Christmas, and then on January 1st for New Year's Day. I'm sure you all might be having those holidays as well. Future office hours, I'm going to drop this in the link in the chat here. So 2025, there is a new sign up for office hours. So make sure you use that link and you sign up for those if you plan to attend. The next one will be held on January 8th and then February 12th and March 12th. As always, you can reach out via email to that CDHS provider support inbox. Our website also has some great resources. We are obviously making a lot of updates to the website as well, but there are a lot of resources there too. So that's up and coming. And then I'm just going to pause here if anybody has any other questions that they wanted to bring forth or anything to talk about.
Hey Amanda, this is Elizabeth at Carillon. I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to give some feedback and say thank you for sending out, I think it's kind of like a newsletter after these meetings where you go over the key points and kind of like meeting notes. I just wanted to say thank you for doing that. I know that started recently. That's been really helpful for me because I'm, taking screenshots and trying to take notes so I can send them out to my providers. I just want you to know that we really appreciate that. It helps significantly.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad that hopefully it's being useful.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I know too, we do have a link to the slides on our website as well, which will get posted there. I know sometimes people have issues with Google. We do post them as like PDFs, but if anyone ever has any issues in accessing it, feel free to reach out to me directly and I can always send it to you over email as well. Definitely want to try to make it as easy as possible. Okay. Well, that is all we had planned for today. Thank you all so much for coming. We can end a little bit early. Feel free to stick around if you did have any questions that you would rather wait to chat about once everyone leaves. So thank you all. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in the new year. Okay, for those that are left, I know there's only a couple people left here, but if you do have any questions, feel free to stay on and come off mute. Otherwise, office hours is officially over, I guess, and we will see you next time. I'll wait another minute or so. I should stop recording.